Hi guys, how are you doing? This is Ashley from techcentury and welcome to my review of the Lumia A20, one of Nokia's new Windows Phone 8 devices. So to start out, let's take a look at the hardware of the Nokia Lumia A20. On the front we'll see a 4.3-inch screen, which is a Super AMOLED screen with a resolution of 480 x 800 pixels, which is a PPI of 217. So this certainly isn't the highest resolution display out there, but still it's good, and especially the blacks, due to the Super AMOLED technology, are really dark, and so it really blends in with the front of the device. So overall I think it's a good screen, not the best screen that you'll find out there, but certainly a good one. Then below the screen we'll find the back button as well as also the home button for Windows Phone and the search button. Then if we continue around with the hardware, on the bottom we'll see a micro USB port as well as a speaker. On the right side we'll see all the other buttons, so we'll have a dedicated camera shutter button as well as the power on off switch in the middle, and then also the volume up and down on top. And I would have really preferred if Nokia would have switched up the position so that the volume rocker would have been a little bit further down to the middle, and then if the just power on and off switch would have been further to the top, because honestly in my hand this isn't really too comfortable pressing the button right here like this. It would have been much better if you could just hold the phone like this and then unlock it. So this is just one choice that I can't really understand. Now if we continue to the cameras, on the front we'll have a camera up there over the display, which is front-facing camera, unfortunately only VGA quality, not a 720p camera. On the back we'll find an 8 megapixel camera, which also has a car-size lens and also dual LED flash. And then continuing with the interface of the camera as well as with the overall performance, I have to say I was pretty disappointed, because an 8 megapixel camera these days pretty much suggests that you have a good camera, and unfortunately this wasn't always the case. So if we take a look at some of the pictures I took, then we see in low light situations that it was really struggling. Now low light situations are pretty much a big task for any phone out there, but especially because the Nokia Lumia 920 really excels in this category, it really shows off that this isn't even a nearly as good camera here on the A20. And also if you're shooting photos in daylight, then the white balance seems to have an issue. So for example right here, there are two photos that I took after like 1 second, and here you see the white balance, and then you see right here the white balance is completely off. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Overall I just had a lot of issues when it came to white balance, and this really is annoying. And I think you can also see it here on the video, which is a 1080p clip, that just the color of the wood right here changes completely. I have no idea what's going on there, and then I was able to at least kind of fix it when I was just using manual white balance, but still it wasn't really completely solid and still changed. So I have honestly no idea what's going on there with the video recording and why the white balance is so screwed up, or messed up I would rather say. When we talk about Windows Phone, which is the OS, this is Windows Phone 8, then I have to say overall I was very impressed. It's especially impressive to see how fluid the whole OS and the overall experience is, especially since the Lumia A20 only features a dual-core processor. Now this is a Snapdragon S4 processor, so definitely not a slouch, but if we see that, for example, on a 1-year-old Galaxy S3 we get a quad-core processor, this certainly is a difference. But I have to say I didn't have a single performance issue. There weren't really dropped frames, there were no lags, so overall I just have to say performance is amazing on this phone, and there's nothing bad that I can say about it. Some of the apps that are included, for example Nokia Drive Plus, is definitely great app if it works. So I was using it to navigate to my business school, and 3 times it just didn't work at all, and then the 4th time it worked, and it was a great experience also because it had, for example, the speed limits integrated, which is something that I didn't see on iOS or Android yet. Now apps are also the biggest downfall of this phone, or just Windows Phone 8 in general, and I did a completely separate video just about this topic. So basically, to wrap it up, Google has announced that they won't be developing any software or any apps for the just Windows Phone 8 platform. Also the same with Facebook, so you really have to use other applications, for example Facebook Pro or something from other developers, or you can, for example, also use MetroTube for YouTube. And I do have to say that MetroTube for YouTube is probably the best YouTube client I've seen on any platform. There isn't a YouTube app that looks as good on iOS or also on Android. So I just have to say that you can develop great apps for Windows Phone, but there really have to be more users so that it is interesting for developers. Besides that, there's just a huge lack of apps on Windows Phone still, even though it's on the market for quite some while. You also find 8 GB of internal storage in this phone, but you can expand it with micro SD cards. Unfortunately, you can't put apps on this extra storage. You can only put music or photos on this additional storage, which is definitely a shame. Now, the battery was underwhelming to me. It's only 1650 milliampere battery, so this already pretty much promises a rather bad battery life, but I was just barely able to get through a day with this battery on the phone. Fortunately, you can remove the back cover so you can get spare batteries, or you can also have wireless charging if you get the right backplate. But this is just something where I would really wish that just manufacturers would make the phone a little bit thicker, but then put a bigger battery in. Because I think phones these days are pretty much like our computers. So those are devices, at least for me, that I use most every day. So I really need and want a good battery life. And a few more millimeters in thickness aren't really that bad to me. I rather really have the trade-off and get better battery life. And this also wraps up my review. So first of all, I have to say big thanks to Nokia Connect for sending this device out. Now, can I recommend it at a price point of around 400 euros? Not really. The hardware is good and feels good in the hand, but it's not exceptional. For that, you probably have to look at the Nokia Lumia 920. But so it's average hardware, I would say, on here. And while Windows Phone is very sleek and well designed, just the lack of apps hindered to a point where I can just not recommend it at the moment for anyone to have it really as a daily driver. I think iOS and Android are way better choice at the moment. So I think Windows Phone just needs some more time to develop and really get the developers also to back it up and really develop great apps for it, like MetroTube. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of Windows Phone 8. Have you used it? What do you think about this lack of apps? And what do you think about this Nokia Lumia? I just have to say I really love the color of it, and overall it was a great experience with the phone. I'm really eager to see where Windows Phone is going and also where Nokia with the Lumia device is going. It's certainly the right direction, and I think with just a little bit more development when it comes to apps and also just further improvements when it comes to the hardware, Nokia will be back in the game very soon and will be very successful again. So thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and I'm looking forward to see you next time. Thanks again for watching.